The Voyager 1 spacecraft has detected something that shouldn't exist. Even more chilling, Voyager itself is changing, reconfiguring its systems in ways engineers never programmed or even imagined possible. Did our oldest space traveler just discover alien technology? Or has it become part of something bigger than humanity has ever imagined? The lonely pioneer continues its silent mission. In the vast emptiness of space, there's a tiny machine still talking to us after nearly 5 decades. Voyager 1, launched back in 1977 when bell-bottoms were cool and Star Wars first hit theaters, has become something truly remarkable. It's the first human-made object to reach interstellar space, the mysterious region between stars, where our sun's influence finally fades away into the cosmic dark. This little spacecraft, no bigger than a small car, has traveled over 15 billion miles from Earth. That distance is so immense that radio signals moving at the speed of light take about 22 hours to reach it. When engineers send a command, they must wait almost 2 full days for a response. It's like having a conversation with someone who takes a day to answer every question, and yet the conversation never stops. What makes this feat even more incredible is that Voyager 1 wasn't built to last this long. The engineers who designed it never imagined it would still be working today, drifting through the darkness beyond our solar system. Its nuclear power source, running on plutonium, was expected to keep it alive until maybe the early 2000s. Yet here we are, in the 2020s, and Voyager is still whispering back to us across the stars. The spacecraft carries instruments that seem ancient by today's standards: magnetometers that measure magnetic fields, cosmic ray detectors, and plasma wave sensors, all designed with 1970s technology. These old tools were meant to study the planets in our solar system, particularly Jupiter and Saturn. But over time, they've become something else entirely: our first ears and eyes in interstellar space, picking up faint cosmic murmurs that no other probe has ever detected. Voyager also carries the famous Golden Record, a time capsule of Earth sounds, music, and greetings in dozens of languages. It was meant as a message to any intelligence that might find it someday, thousands or even millions of years from now. Little did we know that this record, this hello from humanity, might have already attracted attention much sooner than anyone expected. The story of the first strange signal begins with what scientists initially thought was just a blip in the data. In the endless stream of information coming back from Voyager, there was a tiny anomaly, a flicker that seemed like nothing. Space is full of dust, cosmic rays, and radiation, and occasional weird readings are normal. At first, the team at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory dismissed it as background noise. Dr. Eliza Kana, one of the mission specialists who first noticed the anomaly, described it vividly: "It was like shouting into a canyon for decades, and finally, something shouts back." The reading was faint, just a slight reflection of light picked up by Voyager sensors. In the beginning, it seemed so minor that it wasn't worth investigating further. But then, something changed. This wasn't just a particle floating randomly through space. The object moved in a way that caught everyone's attention. It curved. It accelerated. It didn't tumble chaotically like a rock or piece of debris would. Instead, it glided smoothly, as if under control. When the plasma sensors on board Voyager registered a shift that seemed deliberate and focused, the team realized this wasn't background noise at all. Systems analyst Carlo Romero observed that the object's movement was unlike anything natural, describing it as the kind of deliberate motion one might expect from a drone rather than a rock, suggesting it had intention. That observation changed everything because in the physics of space, things don't just move with purpose unless something is making them move that way. As Voyager transmitted this data back to Earth, the scientists found themselves facing a question they never expected to ask. What is it that moves like a machine, but isn't one of ours? The empty void between stars suddenly seemed less empty, and that realization sent ripples through NASA that would soon grow into waves. When something unusual appears in space, scientists have a standard playbook. They check all the familiar possibilities. Is it a small moon? A distant comet? A new asteroid? One by one, the team worked through these options, and one by one, each possibility fell away. This object wasn't a planet. Far too small. Not a comet either, because there was no tail, no ice trail, no heat signature. It didn't glow like a star. And gravitational lensing couldn't explain what they were seeing. Even space dust was ruled out, because dust doesn't suddenly change direction mid-flight. Dr. Lucas Hang at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory ran simulation after simulation, trying to match the object's behavior to known models. What makes space objects usually so predictable is physics. Everything moves according to known patterns and forces, Newtonian laws, orbital mechanics, gravity. But this object broke those rules. Its path bent in ways that didn't match any known orbital behavior, with no drift or decay that would be expected from natural objects. The team was forced to admit something difficult. What they were seeing wasn't just unknown. It was unnatural. The movement pattern suggested intelligence, or at least design. And that possibility was both exciting and deeply unsettling. If this wasn't a natural phenomenon, then what exactly had Voyager encountered in the darkness between the stars? As the analysis continued, the behavior became even stranger. The object seemed to be moving with purpose on a specific trajectory that couldn't be explained by gravity, solar wind, or any of the other forces that typically influence objects in space. It was as if something or someone was guiding it, adjusting its course with precision. And that's when a second piece of evidence arrived that would transform this curious anomaly into something much more significant. Just as the scientists were trying to make sense of what Voyager 1 had detected, something unexpected happened. Voyager 2, the twin spacecraft following a completely different path millions of miles away, detected something eerily similar. The same kind of magnetic fluctuation, the same kind of pulse, a matching signal signature that changed everything. This was the turning point in the investigation. Two different probes, two separate instruments, picking up nearly identical phenomena, ruled out the possibility of an internal error. It wasn't a software glitch or a sensor malfunction on Voyager 1. Whatever this was, it was real and happening in multiple directions of space. ESA analyst M.K. Fontaine compared it to two lighthouses, both catching a flash of something passing between them. This cross-confirmation gave the anomaly weight and credibility. It wasn't noise. It wasn't Voyager acting up. It was a real, coordinated phenomenon happening out there in the space between stars. The team now had evidence that couldn't be dismissed. Something was moving through the region of space where both Voyagers were traveling, and it was doing so in a way that defied conventional explanation. With this confirmation, NASA quietly triggered what's known as a Level 3 alert, a designation used only for phenomena that don't fit within our current scientific understanding. The event was real, the math was consistent, the movement appeared deliberate, and nobody knew what to make of it. As more data streamed in from both spacecraft, the picture became clearer, but also more mysterious. What had started as a single blip on Voyager 1 sensors was revealing itself to be something far more complex and organized than anyone had imagined. When the team pulled up the full telemetry logs and analyzed all the data, what they discovered sent chills down their spines. This wasn't just one or two anomalies moving through space. There were 305 objects, all moving together in formation. Each one glided past Voyager 1 in what appeared to be a choreographed arc, smooth, precise, and coordinated. These weren't debris fragments scattered randomly. There was no heat signature, no tails, no signs of decay that you'd expect from natural objects. And most striking of all, the readings showed rhythmic pulses echoing through the plasma waves. The kind of pattern you'd expect from something engineered, not formed by chance. The 305 objects weren't simply passing through randomly. They were moving together as a unit, maintaining relative positions to each other in a way that suggested organization and purpose. The formation itself defied natural explanation. In space, groups of objects tend to spread out over time due to slight differences in velocity, gravitational influences, and countless other factors. Yet these objects maintained their positions relative to each other with precision that seemed impossible without some form of control or guidance. Some scientists compared it to watching a flock of birds or a school of fish, except these were in the vacuum of space where such coordinated movement shouldn't be possible without technology. Others likened it to watching a drone swarm, each unit aware of the others, all moving with a shared purpose. What made this discovery particularly unsettling was the sheer scale. A single anomalous object might be explained away as an